Hello, I'm Arvind. Today I will teach you Dust of Snow. This is the first poetry of your syllabus from Flamingo, class 10th, CBSE. Okay, today I will teach you poetry, but first of all, I would like to tell you the difference between poetry and story. Okay, the basic difference is in poetry we get rhyme scheme, but in story we do not get any rhyme scheme. What is rhyme scheme? Let us know. Look here, I'm writing here. All human beings are subjected to decay, and when fat shamans monarch must obey. Okay, this is a famous line from MacFlecknoe of John Dryden. Look here. Here you will get decay and obey. In the first line you get decay, in second line you get obey. If you consider it A, it will be also A because we get similar pronunciation of the word. Okay, why? In the same way you can get poetry, you will get rhyme scheme. Okay, and look here, in this poetry you will get rhyme scheme the way a crow, last word is crow, shook down on me. Crow, it has another pronunciation A, shook down on me. B, the dust of snow. Here we get similarity between crow and snow from a hemlock tree. Me and tree, you will get similarity. In the second paragraph, you get has given my heart a change. Heart, it is C, a change of mood. D, and saved some part. C, on a day I read. D. Okay, in the same way you will get rhyme scheme. In different poem, you will get different rhyme scheme. But you should know in modern poetry, we do not get any rhyme scheme. Sometimes we do not get any rhyme scheme in it is written in free verse. There is no any systematic rhyme scheme or rhythm in the poem, especially in the poem of Nassim Magical, A Night of a Scorpion. Okay, in this is the name of his poem. In this poem has been written in free verse. You will get a lot of poems written in free verse. Okay, so first of all, I would like to define poetry. Definition of poetry. You should know that different scholars have defined poetry in different ways. Okay, again I am telling you, different scholars defined poetry in different ways. Okay, and first of all, I'm going to give you the definition of poetry given by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was a great nature poet or romantic poet, you can say it. Okay, William Wordsworth defines poetry. As I told you, William Wordsworth was the greatest of all English romantic poets like Shelley, Keats, Coleridge, Byron, etc. The form, content, and style of his poetry present an immediate contrast with those of the 18th century poetry of Dryden and Pope, Goldsmith, and Johnson. His poetry may be seen as a revolt against the new classical poetry of common sense, moderation, and heroic couplet. Let it go. I'm just going to tell you the definition of poetry given by William Wordsworth. He defines poetry. According to William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings Look here, this is the definition given by William Wordsworth. A nature poet and romantic poet. Okay, so according to William Wordsworth, poetry is a spontaneous, means self, without any external force, without any force, without any compulsion. Poetry is spontaneous or from powerful feelings. Okay, so poetry is really a powerful feelings. It comes spontaneously, so it is called poetry. This is the first definition given by William Wordsworth of poetry. Again, he says, thoughts recollected in tranquility. Thoughts recollected in tranquility. Tranquility means peace or calm. Okay, the thought which collects again and again, it is recollected, it is gathered, it is assembled, and in a peaceful mind of the poet, and it comes in the form of poetry. These are the two definitions given by William Wordsworth of poetry. Again, I am telling you the definition of poetry given by Shelley. P.B. Shelley defines, okay, according to P.B. Shelley, poetry is the best word in best order. Okay, he says poetry is the best word in best order. What is it? Order means sequence. Okay, you should know poetry is the best word in best order. P.B. Shelley defines poetry. P.B. Shelley was also a romantic poet, and according to him, poetry is the collection of beautiful words in proper sequence, proper order. So it is called poetry. So you should know, and you know, Matthew Arnold also defines poetry. According to him, poetry is a criticism of life. Okay, in function of poetry, Matthew Arnold says poetry makes a man noble, better, and humble. Okay, so this is the definition of poetry by Shelley Wordsworth. Okay, so look here and listen carefully. As you know, this is the first poetry. That's why I'm giving you the definition of poetry. You should know that different scholars have defined it in different ways. From a few popular definition of poetry, it is clear that there is no single, unanimous, and all accepted definition of poetry. Okay? They have different opinions, scholars have different opinion. That's why I'm telling you, from a few popular definition of poetry, it is clear that there is no single, unanimous, and all accepted definition of poetry. Some is stress on meter and language, others stress on diction and meter. Okay, so different scholars have different opinion. So it is. This is all about poetry. Now I'm just going to tell you about Dust of Snow. You should know the poet of the poem Dust of Snow is Robert Frost. As you know, Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet. First thing, he was an American poet, and he wrote a lot of poems. For example, Dust of Snow, Fire and Ice. This is your poem prescribed for you. In class 12, you will get, uh, in Flamingo, you will get uh, uh, roadside stand. Okay, this is your first flight. Sorry, this is your first flight. So it is, and one famous poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Road Not Taken. It is also a poem of Robert Frost. But I would like to tell you about Robert Frost. He was admired or he is liked by Indians. Do you know why? Because when Pandit Nehru was at 11th hour, he wrote some lines of Robert Frost. What were the lines? The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. These lines were found on the table of Pandit Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, uh, and when he was about to die, okay. So he was highly impressed. I mean, Pandit Nehru was highly impressed by Robert Frost. That's why he had written these lines. Okay, so what is the meaning of this line? There is a name of the poem. There is the poem "Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening." This poem has been written by William Robert Frost, and in that poem, these four lines have been taken from that poetry. What is about poetry? I'm telling you. Once the poet was on his horse. It was a snowy evening, and he was moving. He was going somewhere. He was on his horse. In the way, he stopped near a dense forest. Okay, the forest was dense, dark, and deep. And he was attracted, he was fascinated. Robert Frost was fascinated to see the beauty of forest or jungle. After then, he thinks forest is lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. But this is not his ultimate goal. This is not a destination. He has to go far away, far away. He has to go far away from far away, and miles to go before I sleep. Before sleep means before the end of his life, he has to cover a long journey. He has to go far away. He should not stop to see the beauty of this jungle. So this is and in the Pandit Nehru likes it is because he has to do a lot of things for Indian, for our country, and this is not his goal. He has to do a lot of things. He has to go far away. Okay, so these lines were written by Pandit Nehru in when he was at 11th hour. Okay, in this poem, the poet says uh, about uh, about an event. He said once the poet was under a hemlock tree. What is hemlock tree? Hemlock tree, it is a poisonous tree. Okay, it is a poisonous tree, and it was snowing. It was snowing. He was under the tree. He was in sad mood. He was in depressed. He was unhappy. He was not happy. Uh, and after some time, a crow came and he perched. He sat on hemlock tree, and he shook dust of snow on the poet. Okay, so as a result of what happened, the poet's mood was changed. Earlier, he was in depressed. He was not happy, but falling off particle of snow, his mood changed. Now he became happy, and the rest part of the day was good for him. Was spent by in good way. Okay, so you should know that. Now listen, look here the line. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The poet was under hemlock tree, and a crow came and he sat on the branches of tree, and he he shook dust of snow, and the snow falls on the poet. Okay, has given my heart a change of mood and said some part of a day I wrote, and as a result of it, his mood has been changed. Okay, so you should know that is what is the message? Is a small thing can change a man's life. Okay, so that's why the poet's mood was changed, and you should know that a hemlock tree is generally mentioned to denote something tragic and serious. One thing, and the second thing, Generally, you will get the name of parrot, cuckoo, nightingale in the poem, but here you got the name of crow. It simply means that it is not good. It indicates something serious, something serious. Okay, so it is all about the poetry, and this is the poetry you will you read it. It will it is easy poem for you. So I think you have understood the poetry. Okay, uh, as I taught you, the definition of poetry is also important. So go through it. Okay, thank you.